When you understand the nature of a thing, you know what it's capable of. Blade. Welcome back to the Dojo, the series where I teach you the MGTOW skills necessary to identify and protect yourself from gynocentric and feminist threats. One of the biggest barriers to successful male and female relationships today is a woman's hypergamous sense of entitlement. Prior to the rise of feminism, society balanced male dominance and female hypergamy and punished those who attempted to take advantage of that system, regardless of gender. However, the rise of feminism diminished male dominance and fostered unrestrained female hypergamy. This created an epidemic of female entitlement at narcissistic levels. Feminism told women that committing to a man of equal sexual marketplace value was settling, and that every woman was entitled to more, regardless of how much she already had. This destroyed the social contract between men and women. Today, ugly women, average women, land whales, and post-wall hags wrongly believe they're entitled to the commitment and resources of attractive, rich, and successful men. While these men may pump and dump these women, if they're not blue-pilled cucks, they'll never commit to these women. It's like I always say, in the desert when you're dying of thirst, you're gonna drink some dirty water. But when you get back to civilization, you're only gonna drink the freshest water you can find. The same is true with women. Red-pilled men will often bang any woman available, but will only commit to the best they can find. However, in today's world, even women deserving of such men are abandoning them in droves. Look at Brad Pitt and Johnny Depp. Both were considered some of the richest and most attractive men alive. Both were dumped by their wives who wrongly believed they deserved more than these two international celebrity multimillionaires could provide. While MGTOW men understand this and wisely avoid committing, cohabitating, and marrying these women, some MGTOW still casually date. This video is directed at that group of MGTOW and non-MGTOW men who still date and maintain relationships with women. All relationships are built on trust. Without trust, there can be no relationship. Thus, this lesson will focus on teaching you to recognize the potential relationship issues in real time and help you avoid being used and discarded. However, before we get started, it's important to learn my relationship rule. And that is, too many people wrongly believe the default setting in a relationship should be to listen and believe. It's not. It should be to neither trust nor distrust, then reconcile and analyze her words and actions over time to determine her trustworthiness and investment. Never invest in a relationship any more than she invests in return. If you define a relationship beyond the actual level of investment that you're receiving, you'll set yourself up to be taken advantage of. It's important to realize the relationship is over when her investment stops, not when you part ways. The goal of this video is to help men to learn to identify when her investment stops, so they can be the one who determines how and when to part ways, rather than risk being taken by surprise and wrecked. With that in mind, let's begin with some background. On March 11, 2016, The Independent published the article, Narcissism, the Science Behind the Rise of a Modern Epidemic. In it, they state, narcissists often portray an image of grandiosity or overconfidence to the world, but this is only to cover deep feelings of insecurity and a fragile self-esteem that is easily bruised by the slightest criticism. Because of these traits, narcissists find themselves in shallow relationships that only serve to satisfy their constant need for attention. When narcissistic traits become so pronounced that they lead to an impairment, this can indicate the presence of a narcissistic personality disorder. The Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders describes narcissistic personality disorder as a pervasive pattern of grandiosity, need for admiration, and lack of empathy that begins by early adulthood and is present in a variety of contexts. People with narcissistic personality disorder show a grandiose sense of self-importance, are consumed by fantasies of unlimited success, power, brilliance, beauty, or ideal love, and are extremely sensitive to criticism, among other things. Younger people seem to be most affected. Childhood abuse and neglect may be possible factors involved in its formation. Further, the Heritage Foundation, on May 15, 1997, published the report, The Child Abuse Crisis, the Disintegration of Marriage, Family, and the American Community. In it, they find, the growing empirical evidence on child abuse reveals new, alarming, and distinct patterns of familial relationships that contribute greatly to this tragedy. The studies show that, along with the continual rise in the incidence of child abuse in the United States, there has been an increase in the number of children born out of wedlock, as well as an increase in the number of children affected by divorce. Now, the rising incidence of child abuse in the United States can be linked to one more factor: whether an abused child's parents are married. A seminal British study confirms that a child is the safest when his biological parents are married, and least safe when his mother is cohabitating with a man other than her husband. The experience of child abuse and neglect has a substantial impact even on individuals. Girls tend to have more emotional problems. That is, they are more withdrawn and need to stay close to the mother. Why is this relevant? It's because feminism's war on marriage destroyed families and left many broken homes in its wake. These broken homes, in turn, created multiple generations of women with emotional problems, including narcissism and an inflated sense of entitlement. So how do you recognize these traits? It's actually very difficult. It's because narcissists are accomplished chameleons. Nothing they say is ever what they mean, and language is simply a tool for deception, manipulation, and storytelling. Everything they do is for show, or is only meant for the moment. It's like TFM says, women use words like spells. This is especially true with narcissistic and entitled women. In the beginning, they fake closeness and openness, and may even temporarily make you a priority. Sometimes, they may even use you as a confidant, but only within a certain context or compartmentalization. This is sometimes referred to as love bombing. You see, narcissists always compartmentalize relationships, that is, keeping different relationships separate and apart from each other to maintain control. And when I refer to compartmentalization, I talk about it as a strategy of only telling someone what they would know about or find out anyway. In this way, no one person knows a lot about the narcissist. This is often a shame-based strategy that supports her shaky self-esteem by seemingly giving others less to criticize. It also supports her power behavior because knowing something someone else does not certainly gives the feeling of power and can often give actual power over her target. While not all expressions of investment are acts of compartmentalized love bombing, they are when done by a narcissist. Other traits include being obsessed with appearance. Sometimes, women who appear to be plain will be obsessed with grooming and their appearance. They're often envious of those around them if they believe them to be more physically attractive. If they aren't wearing provocative clothing, they'll wear clothing that accents their sexuality. Which leads us to our second trait, using sexuality to attract their target. When it comes to seduction, narcissistic women use their bodies to attract a man by signaling availability rather than aggressively pursuing a man. This makes them outwardly appear passive and can lower your guard. Narcissists use flirting to get what they want. She'll constantly use her sexuality on people she's not romantically interested in. She'll flirt to manipulate. These women are great at marketing and are often the most charming people in the room, even if they're not the prettiest. This is because they crave attention. The next two common traits are infidelity and gaslighting. If she fails to get the attention she thinks she deserves, she'll seek it outside the committed relationship. Remember, every woman is a slut if you catch her on the right day. In a nutshell, during courtship, she'll act like a black widow spider, idealizing her man to attract him. Then, once in the relationship, she'll emasculate and cuck him completely. Given enough time, not even the strongest alpha males are immune to this. This is what's known as gaslighting. Gaslighting is defined as an increasing frequency of systemically holding factual information from and or providing false information to the victim, having the gradual effect of making them anxious, confused, and less able to trust their own memory and perception. The more you give these women, the more they want. They're never satisfied, and she'll often use neglect or temporary abandonment to punish her man. This leads us to our next most common trait, the fact that she never accepts blame. If she's running late, she'll never apologize, or she'll blame it on traffic, your directions, or someone else. Narcissists have a real problem with culpability. They don't like admitting that they're ever at fault for a mistake or a problem. They always deflect blame and argue that someone else, or a factor beyond anyone's control, is the cause of the problem. If she's backed into a corner, however, she'll apologize profusely, but only to get you to lower your guard so she can go back to her manipulation. However, one of the easiest ways to detect a narcissist is if she loses her shit if you say no. This is one of the easiest ways to detect a narcissist. When they ask you to do something, just say no. It doesn't even have to be a hard no. You just have to delay your response and say, "I'll get back to you." Narcissists hate those types of responses. They don't like anyone exerting control over what they perceive as theirs. If she loses her mind when you respond with no, she definitely has some narcissistic qualities. If you think you're dealing with a female narcissist, whether in a friendship, romantic relationship, or a professional relationship, never drop your guard, ever. She can and will turn on you at any moment, so don't fool yourself into thinking that you're the exception to her pattern of interpersonal exploitation. In a professional setting, limit your communication to email or small talk that can be easily documented, and never put yourself in a vulnerable situation where you could be falsely accused of harassment. Further, regardless of the relationship, don't reveal any personal information in the early stages of the relationship that can be later used against you. If she wants to monopolize your time, limit communication, or take steps to slow things down. Oftentimes, the narcissist will get frustrated by this and reveal her true self more quickly and move on to easier prey. The thing is that a female narcissist's response to your boundaries will tell you everything you need to know about her. They can't stand to be ignored and often feel entitled to your attention, so they'll continue to make persistent efforts to get it and may even attempt to sabotage you if they fail. The thing to remember is that the second that she stops investing in you, back off and disengage. She's expecting you to continue investing in her while giving you nothing in return. This is the point where you can be assured the relationship is over. If she confronts you, tries to project or gaslight you, maintain your frame. Narcissists are master chameleons because they're master manipulators. She'll do everything in her power to get under your skin. When she attempts this, ghost and move on. I know to non-MGTOW this might seem shitty, but it's the best way forward from a self-preservation perspective. You see, once a narcissist realizes she no longer has control over you, she'll often try to go scorched earth. That's when the lies, false allegations of harassment, abuse, and rape start to happen. So make sure you guys do everything you can to remain safe. If you've enjoyed this video, found it educational or insightful, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to hit the bell so you'll be notified when I upload new content. You can also support my work on Patreon. And in case I'm targeted by YouTube, I also mirror all my content on Bitchute and MGTOW.com. All the links are in the description. I'm DDJ, and this has been your dose of misandry today.